think both of these coaches would like to have it determined before then because there's no anchors right now at the back end. They're trusting some youth. So that match and this match right here, Kyle Norstrem has wrestled very well for Virginia Tech in his freshman season, 6-3 overall. This is the tone setter for this top 25 matchup.
Going up against Drew Hildebrandt, a redshirt freshman from Granger, Indiana, currently 7-3. Coming off of a loss in the dual meet opener against Michigan State. And now we are underway in Blacksburg. Norstrem versus Hildebrandt.
And Norstrem started his season here against a nationally ranked team in Stanford. And number 10, Connor Schramm, really held his own in the dual meet. And he only has 3 losses this season, 2 of which are to top 10 wrestlers. And the other one that he lost is to Chattanooga, but that was not in the most recent match. That was in the Hokie Open. He came off a major decision on Friday. He wrestled really well and is starting to get his feet underneath of him here at 125.
Yeah, major decision victory for Kyle Norstrem over Alonzo Allen. And that was a match that the Hokies really dominated against Chattanooga. Really the big highlight from that, as we will be sure to mention later, Zach Zavatsky with the big sudden victory win over Chattanooga. His matchup against Bryce Carr ended in pretty fantastic fashion. Norstrem in the gray and Hildebrandt in the maroon and yellow.
Both these guys wrestled unattached last season. Hildebrandt was 23-8 a year ago with 7 pins and 2 major decisions. Again, first real dual experience on Friday against Michigan State. Lost 9-6 to the Spartans, one of just 3 matches that Central Michigan dropped in a 31-9 drubbing on Friday up in Michigan.
Almost 2 minutes elapsed here in the first period, still nothing. Now back to neutral. Hildebrandt blocks a shot.
And Norstrem, he's looking for some early bonus points for Virginia Tech. He already has 4 wins by Tech Fall this season. And when it's come down to a decision, he's only 2-3, including that major decision against Chattanooga on Friday. So he's a guy that usually takes advantage early and tries to run up the points and get some bonus points for the Hokies early in the match.
Shot for Hildebrandt, trying to finish. Norstrem sprawls and gets out. Now just 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Now just 10 seconds left in the first period. Freshman from Florida against the freshman from Indiana. So a scoreless first period.
Norstrem will get the choice here. He chose the bottom, trying to get the escape point for Tony Roby and company.
Now Roby looking on. As is Tom Borelli.
And we'll talk about this throughout the match today, Bailey, but this is great to see when you have top 25 teams that aren't afraid to schedule each other.
Escape point for Norstrem.
You've seen the aggressive schedule Virginia Tech will have this season. They already took on number 21 Stanford. You get 17th ranked Central Michigan. You have a top 10 potential matchup with Missouri here this weekend. You see this all the time, and it's also a hallmark of Central Michigan's program to come from Mount Pleasant down to Blacksburg and play this match.
Well, the last 2 times these teams wrestled against each other was in the NWCA National Duels. And Virginia Tech got the better of that. Actually, an event that the Hokies hosted last year. Got the win against Nebraska. Now is stalling on Hildebrandt.
Sort of wakes up Norstrem, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's just a warning, though. Now dancing around, still looking for some sort of opening. Only point scored has been from Kyle Norstrom's escape. Another attempted shot from Hildebrandt. Good sprawl out from the young man from Brandon, Florida now. Looking for points.
Oh, great reversal by Norstrom.
2 more going to the Hokie.
Hildebrandt tried to be the aggressor. Norstrom, a great job to get away from it, and then also put the takedown on. That was beautifully done by the freshman.
Now the clock just ticking. Norstrom hoping for some sort of near fall points. He won't get them. Now, of course, riding time not a factor. Just 6 seconds have been accumulated for Kyle Norstrom. And now Hildebrandt will start on bottom in period 3. Well, Norstrom looking on. Brother Kevin Norstrom was a wrestler here at Virginia Tech as well. Solid mat return.
Yeah, and if you're Norstrom, just buying time here, adding some style points as well. Doesn't get any actual points for it, but some style points for Norstrom. And riding time could become a factor here if he hangs on for another 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, now ticking at 34 seconds. And now out of the circle.
But this is a good start. What we've seen from Norstrom so far this season. Obviously a strong competitor in Hildebrandt here. But Norstrom has handled himself well after going 12-5 in unattached wrestling a year ago.
Now Hildebrandt back on his feet. Another mat return for Norstrom. Looking for a reversal. And he'll just get the escape. So now Hildebrandt finally on the board. It's 3-1.
And he got out just in time, too. 10 seconds short of the riding time point coming into potential for Virginia Tech. So now if you're Norstrom, knowing that Hildebrandt's going to go for the takedown here, trailing by 2.
Another shot for Hildebrandt. Dropped in a sprawl for Norstrom. Under a minute. Looking for the leg. Trying to finish. Norstrom giving him nothing, keeping that foot in bounds. Hildebrandt hoping for 2. Out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at 34.1 seconds.
Do or die time now for Hildebrandt, needless to say.
Hildebrandt needs a takedown to tie. Norstrom, 2.
And that's twice where Hildebrandt made the first move, Norstrom with the counter, and he's able to get a pair of takedowns, which will be the determining factor in this match.
Now somersaulting out of bounds. 8.7 seconds remaining in this match. And Kyle Norstrom just less than 10 seconds away from giving the Hokies seemingly 3 points. Now a caution on Hildebrandt. Trying to get to his feet. Norstrom not letting up, and the Hokies take the first match. The riding time a factor. And that one will end 6-1 for Kyle Norstrom.
Really well done by Norstrom. Got the escape point and then the turn when Hildebrandt tried to second period to spin it around, really changed the complexion of the match. And that's a good start for Virginia Tech. Like we said, that was one of the non-ranked versus non-ranked. It's only 2 of them today, the beginning and the end, and the Hokies get the advantage in the first one.
Well, here's a ranked versus unranked. Dennis Gustafson against Dresden Simon.
And Simon did not wrestle on Friday for Central Michigan. And so when you're talking about these ranked versus unranked matchups, in terms of trying to find bonus points here, if you're Virginia Tech, if you're Gustafson, trying to get a major decision, a tech fall, a pin, something like that. And so far in his career, he's been a guy that can do that type of thing.
Well, Gustafson's had a pretty interesting road to his senior year. In his first year at Virginia Tech, won an ACC championship. But then, since then, it's been a struggle to try to get back to winning an ACC championship and getting to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, ever since his redshirt season in 14-15, it's been a couple disappointing years for Dennis Gustafson. And something where Tony Roby said before the season, you see a new sense of urgency as he gets the takedown. He realizes, you know what, this is it. I don't have another year. And he's trying to get back to his form that he had his freshman season when he went 25-15. And ever since then, he's lost just 16 matches in 3 years. But it's not come down at the end of the season.
Yeah, there was nothing disappointing about that takedown. Gustafson up 2-0. Now Dresden Simon wrestling in his first year with affiliated matches. And for the Chippewas last year wrestling in unaffiliated matches, he was actually at 141.
And went 21-9 unattached, but having to drop a weight class with Mason Smith, a nationally ranked wrestler, at 141. So able to make weight today against the nationally ranked Gustafson.
Now a caution, or a stalemate rather.
Now Simon has a great background. You mentioned he was 148. He was 130 in high school as a junior, went 58-0, won the state title. Then won 156 matches as a senior at 140 and won that. So always been battling between weight classes, but a guy that is wrestling at a lower weight class than he has been in previous seasons.
Did not wrestle in the duel against Michigan State.
Yeah, so first action of the season for him in the duel.
Now under a minute left. Shot in for Gustafson. Dumps. Still nothing. Trying to reel him back in. Towing near the edge of the mat. Dragging him right back into the circle. Finishes for 2.
That's such a brilliant move by Gustafson, and also getting the points near the end of the period. You can see Simon just trying to get out of it and escape towards the new period, but points for Gustafson.
Well, just in the first period. Gustafson with nearly 20 seconds of riding time. Now Simon back to his feet, gets the escape.
Gustafson coming off a tech fall on Friday over Chattanooga's Wade Cummings. Looking for his third takedown of the opening period.
Gustafson searching for another. He'll get it.
At the buzzer.
Right before the start of the second period, Dennis Gustafson takes a 6-2 lead. Gustafson 7-1 on the year. His only loss was to Lehigh's Scott Parker. That was in the Journeyman Open, a tournament where Gustafson actually placed third.
And that's number 4 in the nation, Scott Parker. And it was a sudden victory loss for him, so showing his own, but it's all going to be about, for Gustafson this season, how he finishes the year.
Certainly a decent amount of wrestling left before the tournament in the spring. You're right, the Hokies have more teams that are going to come into Blacksburg for them to actually try to grapple against, including Missouri.
It's going to be Saturday night across campus, though, not here at Castle. It'll be at the Moss Arts Center, which has been a unique experience the last couple seasons to put in the Performing Arts Center.
Yeah, absolutely, and those of you not aware, as Gustafson goes right back for a mat return. Instead of wrestling in an actual gymnasium like here at Castle Coliseum, which is at heart a basketball arena, you go to the Moss Arts Center, and it's almost theatrical, really, to say the least, because they have them on the stage. Everybody's there like they're watching a play, but it's had a lot of success here in Southwest Virginia the past couple of years. Meanwhile, Dresden Simon just trying to get out as Gustafson prompts a stall warning on Dresden Simon. Now with 1:40 of riding time. Now just 30 seconds in the second period.
Gustafson doing a great job of controlling the wrists of Simon, not allowing him really much of anything. Just a dominant second period after the 3 takedown first, never let him get up. Here in the second period, and that's a bunch of riding time. He's already had the riding time point locked up.
2 minutes and 20 seconds as the buzzer sounds, sending us into the third period. It was going to be tough for the redshirt freshman Dresden Simon, but a very good test to start out here in his first match in the 2017-2018 dual schedule. Now Gustafson starting out on bottom. And a caution on Gustafson.
He was eyeing the referee the whole time, trying to see if he was ready to go.
Back on his feet. One more for Gustafson. Already looking for 2 more, trying to get those bonus points. And like you said, in the last match, Gustafson actually won in a tech fall against the Chattanooga Mocs. And then his other dual performance against Stanford, he had a major decision. So far, so good for the redshirt senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. Shot in. Well, Simon in desperation time with a little over a minute left.
Gustafson has him in a very vulnerable position.
Trying to get back. No control for Simon. Central Michigan fans wanted a reversal. Now with under 50 seconds left. And Gustafson still not letting up. There it is, the reversal. Now 7-4. Once again, folks, riding time a factor. Ticking down now with just about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, the only chance here for Simon is to get a near fall point. Near fall points, I should say. Trailing basically 8-4. Gustafson, if he just holds on here, perhaps disappointed in not bonus points, but he'll get the overall victory.
And he will. 8-4, Gustafson wins. And Virginia Tech getting 3 more points added to the team score. Already up 6-0 over Central Michigan.
And if you look at it, Simon wrestled better in the third period. And as long as you avoid those situations where bonus points are not a factor against a nationally ranked opponent, that could be something that happens. The Hokies have an early 6-0 lead.
Hokies up 6-0. We're going to take a break here. Taking on the Central Michigan Chippewas here on ACC Network Extra. Just about ready for the 141 match between Virginia Tech's Brent Moore and the number 20 wrestler in the country, Mason Smith, for the Central Michigan Chippewas. Hokies with a couple of victories early on. Dennis Gustafson defeated Dresden Simon, and Kyle Norstrem got the win over Drew Hildebrandt. So Virginia Tech up 6-0 over the Chippewas in this duel, but the first matchup for Central Michigan where they have a ranked wrestler and Virginia Tech goes in with an unranked opponent.
Yeah, entering a portion of the match where Central Michigan is favored in more matches than not. 5 of their next 6 wrestlers here are nationally ranked, and we've got perhaps the biggest bout of the night on deck. But Yeah, this is a portion where Central Michigan, if you were to script out the match, this is where they want to start getting points and bonus points. And if you're Brent Moore for Virginia Tech, a straight-up loss is not the worst thing. Obviously, that's not what you're intending to, but similar to what Dresden Simon just did with Central Michigan, if you can keep it a regular decision and allow your ranked wrestlers to get the bonus points later, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, Mason Smith, 4-1, an NCAA qualifier last year for the Chippewas. It's his first ever match against Virginia Tech. Only loss on the year was to Michael Longo. For Brent Moore coming in for the Hokies, wrestling last year, unattached, went 26-6. And he is one of the few losses, the two losses, I should say, that the Hokies had in the match against Chattanooga.
Yeah, disappointing performance for sure for him on Friday, falling 10-2. But this is a guy that comes from St. Paris Graham in Ohio, a very tradition-rich high school program. You mentioned he went unattached last season. He's dropped his last two matches and just 5-4 on the season, if you count in the two opens that the Hokies have competed in. So this is sort of a statement match for Moore against a nationally ranked foe in an NCAA qualifier. And also for Moore, this is trying to keep. He's been at 141 for the duel so far, but Andrew Merholtz has been knocking on the door. So this is something that you put your stake on in front of your head coach, Tony Roby, with perhaps a starting spot on the line.
Already 2 minutes elapsed here in the first period. Still nothing going for Moore and Smith. And a stalemate.
Reading the body language of each coach, it was a stalemate off the bat too. They're both just sort of easing in there, trying to figure out what exactly is going to happen. And sort of similar to our 125 bout already, just feeling each other out here in set one, or period one.
Eerily quiet, under 10 seconds in the first period. Shot in for Moore, looking to finish right before the buzzer. Nothing. And the groans of the disappointed Hokie fans will send us into the second period, all tied at 0-0.
Just a little too late. If you had about 5 or 10 more seconds. You can see the idea, though, right? Trying to get those points and swing the momentum right before the end of the period. That's what Gustafson did so well in 133. And now the Chippewas get the decision and go bottom here to begin the second period.
So Mason Smith hoping for a reversal or an escape, just lets up that hold on his stomach from Brent Moore. Now Moore trying to turn him over. Smith on his feet, escape for Mason Smith. Another stalemate. Right to the second one. So Mason Smith taking the lead. Haven't seen any takedowns as of yet.
Each wrestler still just feeling themselves out. You would anticipate Smith here as the nationally ranked guy, really trying to become the aggressor with a minute left in this second period, but Smith has done a nice job of, Moore's done a nice job of preventing any chances.
Trying to go in for a double leg. Smith with a sprawl. Almost two.
That was almost disastrous for Smith.
Now with under 40 seconds remaining in the second period, Mason Smith trying to turn over. Trying to turn. There's two for Mason Smith. Now 3-0 with 15 seconds remaining before the final period. Tony Roby looking on with 5 seconds, almost near fall points for Smith. Going into the final period, Mason Smith of the Chippewas up on Brent Moore 3-0. Well, Moore will start on bottom. Or rather, going neutral.
Yeah. Perhaps eschewing the point of the escape. Trying to go for takedown instead, saw something that he could expose here against Smith in the third period.
Trying for a leg. With a grasp on the knee, Brent Moore is still trying to cycle for a takedown. Now Mason Smith nearly getting near fall points. Well, there's 2. Takedown for the Chippewas.
That's 2 very similar moves for Smith. That's just the experience there. Only a redshirt sophomore, but already a nationally ranked opponent.
Riding time not a factor. Sorry to cut you off, Kevin, but just about 25 seconds accumulated, and now back points almost there. Now 1 minute remaining. Brent Moore on his way to desperation time. Now a stalling warning on the Hokie. Well, Central Michigan just 20 seconds away from their first win of this duel.
This is a nice workman-like performance for Smith. He won't get the flashy extra points, but he'll get Central Michigan on the board, which would be a good start. Near fall points here would make it major near decision.
Now that arm going over the head of Brent Moore. Calling a dangerous position, and now injury time being called. And Moore's just like, well, I'm all right.
There's only a second left.
The trainer just comes in with a couple of pats on the shoulder. 1.4 seconds remaining in the match. Smith on top. And that will do it. First match won by the Chippewas will be thanks to Mason Smith, and that makes the score now 6-3, still in favor of the Hokies. Solid match by the 141-pounder.
Yeah, just workmanlike, as we said, for Smith, and sort of what we expected. And now it's one of the highlights. This is why a lot of people came today here at 149 with 5th-ranked Justin Oliver for Central Michigan and 7th-ranked Solomon Chishko for the Hokies. This is the premier bout of this match.
Hey, he's been one of the more decorated wrestlers on this Virginia Tech squad. Finished 6th at the NCAA championships, a 2-time All-American on the ACC championship last season as well.
And you know, if you're Central Michigan's Justin Oliver, this is a match you have circled since your NCAA a year ago when Chishko was dominant in the NCAA's a 12-2 victory.
En route to Chishko's campaign to being number 6 in the country. Redshirt junior from Jeannette, Pennsylvania. And Justin Oliver, actually an All-American back in 2016 at 149. So both of these guys very decorated, and this is what people came to see. Well, Chishko at 4-1. Only loss was to Oklahoma State's Gio Martinez back at the Journeyman Classic. And Justin Oliver currently undefeated. Stalemate sends the wrestlers back to the middle of the circle.
And Chishko hasn't been about points this season, believe it or not, for a guy that he had to go to sudden victory to beat Raquir Vandermeer from Stanford. Hasn't scored a lot this season. On Friday, a 3-1 victory at 149 for him. And it's something that's sort of been peculiar about the beginning of the season for Chishko. But these two guys, you would assume, are going to... This is the first time they'll meet this season, but maybe not even the last. You might see them in NCAAs come mid-March.
Many of these matches so far in the early end of the duel don't really see the points being scored until rounds or the second or third period. Now Chishko with a hold on the head of Justin Oliver. Another stalemate. Second time we've seen that in the first period, now with under 30 seconds remaining.
This is a match for Virginia Tech that Tony Roby obviously is involved with, but you bring in first-year assistants and tremendous names at 149 and Jared Freyer and Frank Molinaro. These guys are somebody that Chishko can talk to and won national champions, competed in the Olympics. This is sort of the premier class for the assistant coaches to be involved with.
Well, nearing a shot at the end, we will go into the second period scoreless. Well, Oliver defers, and Chishko chooses bottom. Bring up the coaching staff. A lot of these wrestlers were brought in right when, by Kevin Dresser, and then Tony Roby was a very big presence in the wrestling room as far as instruction. Now Kevin Dresser obviously there, but that was more of Tony Roby's role as Chishko easily gets an escape.
Yeah, that's why you didn't see as much turnover as you may usually see when the coaching change exists, because there was able to be continuity and the trust in Tony Roby, who was at Binghamton to begin that program, and then has been here really through the rise of the Virginia Tech program. So you see guys being able to stay in Blacksburg, and then you bring in names like Jared Freyer and Frank Molinaro and Tyler Graff, all of whom competed for national championships. It still remains a destination position in college wrestling here in Blacksburg.
Out of bounds. Knew this was going to be tough and a tight match at that. Another reminder that Chishko won this match against Justin Oliver 12-2 at the NCAA tournament.
And that was the difference. Chishko won that to become All-American, or en route to an All-American campaign, finishing 6th last season. So Oliver with a chip on his shoulder after being denied second consecutive All-American honor by losing, finishing 3-2 at the national meets.
Well, neither wrestler has been ultra aggressive. The only point coming from a quick escape from Solomon Chishko to start the second period. 30 seconds.
Hey, you said quick, and you weren't lying. 4 seconds to get out of it for Chishko.
Clock ticking for a takedown. Shot on the leg. Looking to finish. Dragging it back in. Still awarding nothing. 2 seconds. Nothing. Chishko able to fight off Oliver right at the end of the second period. So instead of it being 2-1 going into the third, Chishko still up 1-0 over Oliver.
Chishko just surviving, but you see Oliver becoming the aggressor first. It was almost like who's going to blink first. And Oliver now has to try and even this matchup through an escape point.
Oliver on his feet. Escape. Now we're tied. Another shot in for Chishko. A minute and 30 left in the match. Well, Oliver, after losing by 10, goes neck and neck with the Hokies redshirt junior. Shot for Oliver, looking for two. Chishko back out. Now a hold on Oliver's leg. And Ty Wall's looking on. Under 50 seconds. Stalemate.
So you've seen Oliver be an aggressor around the edge of the ring, trying to get back to the middle. Basically, might as well start calling it sudden victory now.
Absolutely. Shot for Chishko. Another stalemate.
Safe to say these two guys are pretty evenly matched?
Absolutely. 26.1 seconds remaining on the clock. Riding time obviously not a factor. Chishko looking for the takedown. Nothing. Still waiting. 15 seconds. Oliver holding on. 4 seconds. And this will be decided with a few more periods if necessary.
The tech coaching staff can't believe that there wasn't a takedown awarded, and they'll use their challenge here. And Tony Roby will chat with our official this afternoon. It sure seemed like, the Hokie coaching staff was all over the place, thinking a takedown had been awarded.
They will go over to the sideline to make sure that they got the call right, but Oliver was just holding on. Low-scoring match at 1-1, but will it be 3-1 as a final? Hokies looking to extend the lead to 9-3. All they can do is wait now. What a review this is.
Yeah, this is huge. You only get one of these an entire match. So obviously Tony Roby feels as though there should be a takedown. And, it'd be sudden victory.
Right. It's just pretty incredible that this match was decided 12-2 at the NCAA Championships. Now Oliver comes into a hostile environment where Chishko has the home mat advantage, if you want to put it that way, and then just is able to ride it out and make it a 1-1, but we will see what the decision is. And Chishko ends with a takedown after the review. Chishko able to win after the review. And the Hokies extend the lead to 9-3.
And now you'll see Tom Borelli want to chat with the referee, and Tony Roby retains his challenge.